edition of Our Voices. My name is Yinka Omorogbe, and I'm going to be with you for the next few minutes. But first, before I talk about today's topics, I would like, on behalf of the Edo Women's Development Initiative, to offer our sincere condolences on the passage of our very revered and distinguished Omonobanedo Ukwakolopolo Ban Iridiawa. We know that by the grace of God, the Benin people shall continually move on and grow in strength, grow in grace, grow in favor, and we shall continually regain our lost glory. Oba Tokwe is now we go on to what we're going to talk about during this episode. We have had a very good time with you. You have been introduced to me and to my sisters, Stella Ojeme and Ifweko Ize-Yamu. And we have had some very interesting guests and interesting speakers. We have talked about different issues, and we're just going to go back and recap some of these things. When we started Our Voices, we first showed you some clips from our conference in 2015. At the conference, we had some great speakers, and they spoke about some things that we felt we really had to share with you. One major issue that they talked about was unemployment. We were fortunate to have Mr. Godwin Ehigiamusoye, who is the Chief Executive Officer and founder of the Lift Above Poverty organization, which is Nigeria's largest microfinance institution with its headquarters right here in Benin City. We also had some very, very useful remarks throughout the conference from our chairman, Pastor Osagie Ize-Yamu. We got some really practical advice from a guest speaker, Mrs. Tayo Akintunde, who is a very successful insurance broker and also an owner of a microfinance institution.
The level of unemployment today is frightening, and for the youth it's even worse, and for female, I think we cannot just imagine that. So today, therefore, is that a typical youth has a very deflated self-esteem. There's no doubt also that the way we have seen the value system, our value system when it comes to how do we look at money, gets rich quickly, and in most cases this has failed a lot of our youths. The whole issue of, is there a policy commitment to the creation, job creation and protection? I have an office in Lagos. I'm on the first and second floor, but the ground floor is occupied by a Korean company that produces and markets furniture items. And every time I pass there, I can't really understand why that company will have Korean girls from Korea to be sales girls in that place, when indeed that we have a large number of young people without job. The question I ask myself, who gave these girls work permits?
For the earlies, for me, there is this approach or this thinking that is all about themselves and their family, and therefore if they meet their needs, it's all over. But this is where the problem lies. You have environment where people in leadership position tend to see this challenge of unemployment in a manner that it dominates not only their thinking but also their decisions. So we want to get to a point where every decision, the thinking of the people in and out of government, particularly the elite, expressing the fact that we have a big problem in our hands. How do we address that? I want to see a situation where even government can provide relief for companies that are able to employ a large number of people and sustain them.
You see, by our nature, women are generally creative. But I want to say that these days we're distracted by urban life. Every woman thinks their place is in the city. We're all running to the city. We're neglecting our source, the villages, you know, where the forest is, where there are a lot of greens, where we can actually do farming at a very, very low scale. You know? So, women, let's go back and go back to the farm. Do those small-scale farming, practice small-scale farming, you know, and then bring it up gradually.
What's here in the urban center for everybody? You know, people keep trooping in here, whereas the facilities are overstretched. The economy is not providing for each of these people, you know, as such. But you see, the rural area we've left behind has all it takes, you know, to even feed where we have come to take from where it is not sufficient. So what are we doing here? The greens are just wasting, and they are not being, you know, explored and exploited to the extent that they should be.
You can't talk about violence, crime, without bringing unemployment into it. It's not enough to just come, make a speech and walk away. What is important is to be able to listen to the speakers and get the feedback from those who will make comments to see how they feel. Like LAPO, for example, they've done so much in trying to help the downtrodden in our society. This is an organization, you know, that in 2000 had less than 100 workers. Today they have over 5,000.
Episode 3 was for all of us who are working mothers, working wives, and it was about balancing family life and work. It was very illuminating, and we had some words of wisdom from Adesua Oyenukwe, who is a very, very successful media personality and also truly a mother of many children. Adesua, forget her slimness, she has got 7 children. And so she has been able to truly balance work and home life. And she had a lot to tell us. We just give you a little bit of what she said here.
If you decide to be a career woman, you are going to be away from the home. Josephine and then they said something about women being special. Honestly, give yourselves a round of applause. Before I explain to you why truly you're special. But we just assume it's there. God made woman, man, and said it wasn't enough. And he created woman. But he created a better version. Because he said, this is the only creation he had, and this is good. Pastor, am I right? And he created woman because he knew man was incomplete. But the Bible actually says she was created as a help meet, to meet him at his own deficiency. So we're never made to be sitting at home doing nothing. Even when we're at home, we are working to meet his needs. They've told us that we're very good at balancing. Women are stretchable, they're elastic. That's true. But we have been pulled in different directions too often, that we are breaking. And we are forgetting that at the end of the day, even if we are carrying something, shoulder on our shoulders, the world's problems, we must drop it once in a while for ourselves. Otherwise, we'll be useless. So now, if you decide you want to take a career, there are 2 types of career. One is totally unrecognized in this society, and it is sad, the career of a housewife. It's a job. You can choose that I want to be a housewife. People should begin to remunerate. In some parts of Europe, they remunerate women who choose to stay at home to look after the kids. You can decide, and a housewife job is not easy. They cook, they clean, they sweep, they take the children to school and bring them back. They have work to do. A lot is expected of them. You can choose that because You want to be there for your children, to nurture them specifically without any help. That's your job. You've chosen to do it. You may not be paid, but if you choose it, you pursue everything that it takes to do it. Now, you can decide, I want to take a career that is outside of my home because I become an engineer, or I become a doctor, or I become whatever. And I want to practice that profession because, by the way, most of these professions can still be practiced at home. You can open your clinic in the house, for example, if you're a doctor, you know. So you look at your priorities. What do I want to do? I'm going out to work. Who is caring for my primary constituency?
We started the Ofure Fund, which is to provide medical interventions for those that are in need of it. In pursuance of that, we visited 2 hospitals. We went to the Central Hospital, Benin City, and we went to the University of Benin Teaching Hospital. And we were able to assist people who could not pay their hospital bills and for that reason were still in hospital. We'd like to thank the authorities of the 2 hospitals that we went to for allowing us to come in, and also for assisting us so that we would know where to go and who to assist. We are particularly pleased that we were able to help one young boy who had been kept in hospital because he could not pay his fees. Hello. What's your name?
My name is Sophie Lilo Obechi. Yes, sir.
How long have you been here?
4 months now.
4 months. What happened?
I'm a trailer driver. I have accident.
Where?
At Oba, Onitsha.
How did you get here?
I went to Native before, so they didn't do it well. So I now come to UBTH.
And you were here for 4 months?
Yes.
So, how did you pay your bills, first of all?
If you start with my offer, I don't have help. It's one church that helped me to pay 50,000 for the operation and the money for the surgery. I'm the one that afforded it. So when the church
paid?
Yes.
How much?
I bought what I used to do operation. This one 41,000. This one 40,000. So with the drugs, I'm the one that afforded. So when I finish the operation, church come and pay 50,000 and tell me that they don't have any money again to assist me.
Is it your church or just the church?
Just a church, yes.
Okay.
So I now take the issue to ward manager to tell him to refer me to welfare, that I don't have money to pay for bill.
As a medical social worker.
So my medical social.
Amori. Yeah. Then a trailer on high speed. The thing passed.
Was it in Benin? Where?
Along Upper Mission. Edopolo Grammar School. I'm in J3. GS3. 2 months and some weeks. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I was a prefect then.
You are a prefect then? You are still a prefect, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so your school is going to see you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, of course it does, and that is responsible. What prefect were you?
Labor prefect.
Labor prefect, actually. So that's responsible. Okay, all right. Okay, then.
Your father full of only guy. But you check me.
Thank God, that's good. Thank you.
That's more. Congratulations.
did you know that a person who defiles a child has got a serious mental disorder? In short, that person is mad, or in popular parlance, that person they craze. Well, I didn't know until I listened to our very distinguished professor when she talked about child defilement during one of our programs during this season. In addition, we were very, very fortunate to have the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice for Edo State speaking to us about societal attitudes towards child defilement.
Defilement of a child is what in general terms people call their pedophilias. Men of adult age who are sexually attracted to female young children. They desire to have sexual gratification from pre-adolescent or pre-pubic children who are not of age of consent. In most cases, it's important to us as sociologists and social scientists because of the consequences on the girl child, the impact, the effect it had on that girl child. In most cases, you discover that the girl child in question is unaware of her environment. And that makes it easy for this older man to be able to assess her. She's apparently helpless, but conscious of the damage that is being done to her, but helpless. Defiling of a child is a very serious mental disorder, and that is why we advocate that both the victim and the culprit equally needs attention. The man, 70-year-old, 60-year-old, 40 years old, defiling a 2-year-old child, a 3-year-old child, even 13, 14, needs attention. It needs the attention of a psychiatrist. But you know, in a country like Nigeria, when you talk about, once you hear psychiatric, you hear Uselu, you hear a mental home, all you talk about is a mad person. It's not all about mad people who are on the streets. There are some level, degree of mental disorder, mental ill health disorder that needs this attention of a specialist. And the best, your surest bet is a psychiatrist.
Section 218 of the Criminal Code, Laws of Edo State of Nigeria, defines defilement as any unlawful carnal knowledge of a child under the age of 11. And any such unlawful carnal knowledge is a felony, and it carries life imprisonment with or without caning. Then the section further provided that any attempt to have unlawful carnal knowledge of a child under the age of 11 is attempted defilement, and then it carries the punishment of 14 years imprisonment with or without caning. Then any unlawful carnal knowledge, that's section 221 of the same law, of any child that is above 11 but is under the age of 13 carries the punishment of about 2 years.
Recently, we dealt with the very important subject of human trafficking. We dealt with it fairly extensively, and we showed some clips at some points. I have to say that in deciding what clip to show, we had to think very carefully, because there are some really horrendous clips that you'll probably be arrested for showing in the first place because they are so indecent. But we felt that a lot of people don't know the terrible things that these girls go through. Our speakers were able to talk a little bit about this. We were very fortunate to have Mrs. Oyemese talking to us. We also got comments from various people on the street.
Human trafficking, I would say, is the illegal movement of human beings, male and female, across borders, primarily or more usually for illegal and illicit trade.
In other words, male are being trafficked as well?
Oh yes.
Could you tell us something about that?
Well, not only males are being trafficked, children as well are being trafficked. The preponderance, however, is with the female child, or the females as a gender. The males are trafficked as well, and when they are trafficked, they are usually conscripted into criminal gangs, responsible for robberies, responsible for drug cartels, and in some places, donor organs harvesting illegally. But I do not think the light has been thrown on it, or awareness in these parts is as much as is being given to the female directed form of human trafficking, which usually is in prostitution. I would say prostitution is the rendering or provision of sexual activities in exchange for remuneration of any sort. It could be cash, it could be kind. But what makes it an illegal or illicit activity is that it is not done through the proper channel.
I am of the opinion that it's not a beneath thing. Rather, we are even against it.
My own opinion in regards to that your question is it's not actually true, like what the people are saying. It's not true. But on the other way around, if you look at it, why people are saying it's only beneath, it's as a result of what they have been airing on the television and not the rest of the station, whereby majority of all those trafficking, by the time you try to differentiate the religion and the states where they came from, you discover that Edo only has the majority.
This is our first quarter. It is not our last. We will soon be starting another quarter of our voices. We'll keep you posted, and we hope that you will watch us and your friends will watch us as well. And we also hope that you will give us your contributions so that your voices can be heard. This program is to ensure that nobody's voice goes unheard. Anybody who has something to say to make the society better will be able to say it on this program, and will be able also to transmit or convey whatever needs to be conveyed to make this society a better place. I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks' time. Until then, it's bye-bye from me. I'm Yinka Omorube, and this is Our Voices that has been brought to you by the Edo Women's Development Initiative. Thank you very much.
Build a woman and you build a nation. No woman, there will be no nation. Educate the woman, educate the nation. No woman, there will be no nation. Stand for the woman and you stand for the nation. No woman, there will be no nation. Support the woman, you support